Chick. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, what up? My room is filthy. I'm sick as a dog. But I had plans to make sure I stream today and tomorrow. As of last night, I had a fever of 101.2. That was last night at around 10 or 11. Right now, I woke up this morning. I was at a normal temperature. I'm a little hot right now. I don't know. I could take my temperature right now, but there's no fucking need to. But as for life updates, I fucked up my back, which was unfortunate. It really sucked. Which caused me to be out for 2 days, and then I got sick immediately after, and my whole fucking body is aching. So I haven't lifted in a fucking week. I'm broke as shit. I went Black Friday shopping. I had a good Thanksgiving with the family. I got a lot of the gifts that I wanted. And well, I got everything that I wanted, but I'm broke as a fucking joke right now. And by broke as a joke, I mean I have 50 cents in my fucking bank account. I need to get kills with the Warthog. As for... fucking hell. As for everything else, we're going to be doing a deep dive talk with none other than Steph. Why does it show it for the fucking... That's an ugly ass fucking chess piece. This is what I want. That's the attachment that I need. And I want this, but we're gonna be playing a little bit of ranked later, chilling some big team battle, we'll get warmed up. I might play a little bit ranked. Let me show you guys. I'm at Diamond 5 right now. Haven't been playing because obviously I've been in pain, sick and shit, which has really sucked. But other than that, we're gonna be doing a deep dive talk with Steph, and the topic, we're gonna probably try to do this every Sunday. We'll do it every Sunday, hopefully. I like this one the best. This one's dope too. North America launch. I'm not paying 900 for that. Fucking. We'll do a deep dive talk with Steph, and we're gonna be talking about, do the ends justify the means? That looks ugly as fuck. A decent fucking shader. And then, don't get me started on this fucking game. And yeah, that's the game plan for today. Let's get into a fucking match. It's hot as fuck in my room. Do a match of quick play. Yeah, don't think I'm gonna be online for that long. This is gonna take a lot of energy out of me, but I made plans with Steph, and I plan to honor them. Get some content out because I've been gone for a week. I feel dehydrated, but at the same time, I feel dehydrated and malnourished, but I am. And it really fucking sucks. They can't force anything down. Everything's on sale, but I'm broke as a fucking joke, dude. That's a big ass gear. I'll keep bought the fucking.
Round one.
Hold on as long as possible to score.
Ball incoming.
Plasma grenades and fire.
We have the ball.
Wow! You nailed that shot!
Perfect. Ball dropped.
Fucking.
We've lost possession.
Enemy has the ball.
Our ammo reserves are low.
Double kill. Ball dropped.
Hostile carrier down.
Grapple hook.
We have the ball. Killing spree.
Good job, Spa.
Oh,
No, I'm gonna be sick.
Fucking hell, that's bullshit.
Ball dropped. Enemy has the ball. Halfway to victory.
Fucking hell, man. I'm already gonna start fucking sweating.
Over shield inbound.
Fucking grenade.
Hostiles in sight.
Dropped.
So according to
Enemy
the
has
news,
the
there's a
ball.
lot of cheaters in this game, which is really fucking unfortunate.
Lost the lead.
Just gaming outlets are reporting that it's like really fucking bad.
Thank heavens for that sidearm.
Got him.
Cluster luck. Double kill. We have the ball. Ball dropped. We have the ball.
Low on ammo.
Ball dropped.
We've lost possession.
Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped. We have the ball.
But like how the hell position?
Gained the lead. Ball dropped.
That was a good kill.
Ball out of bounds. Ball incoming.
Similar.
Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped. Killing spree. Enemy has the ball. Lost the lead. Enemy team nearing victory.
Probably should play a little more aggressive.
Boys are ours.
Good killer when he had the chance.
Ball dropped. We have the ball. Enemy has the ball.
Hostile carrier down. Better them than us.
Round lost.
I forgot turns.
Facing elimination. Round 2. Ball incoming.
Come on, Spartan. We gotta win this.
Overshield. We have the ball.
Can't touch this.
Pop their shields.
Oh, I'm fucking tired, bro. My medicine's
Ball
starting to
dropped.
kick in.
Allied carrier down.
I'm excited for this talk, though. It'll be fun.
Enemy has the ball.
Seize the skull.
The hammer Cameras.
Ball dropped. We have the ball. Ball dropped.
We've lost a teammate.
We have the ball.
Grapple shot's mine.
Ball dropped. We have the ball. Ball dropped.
What the fuck are you not doing?
We have the ball.
Allied carrier down.
Enemy has the ball.
I should have kept the high ground. I was gonna go down.
Over shield inbound.
Ball dropped.
Hostile carrier down.
We have the ball.
Over shield available.
Enemies on me.
Way to victory.
LOL, I stuck here. That's funny. What?
Nearing victory. Ball dropped. We have the ball.
Taking damage.
Ball dropped. Enemy has the ball.
Grenade out.
He punched. Like, that looks like a Nerf gun, bro.
Another one down. Frag out.
Ball dropped.
Targets are over there. Cover me.
We have the ball. Round one.
This is for all the marbles. Let's fucking grab it. I'll get a fucking
Final
good one.
round.
Man.
Ball
That should be on soon. I said I was eating dinner.
Just one more win. One more and we survive this.
I'm better than you. Okay, nice nade. Oswald was gonna
Tango's
get that.
closing in. Fragged him.
Ugh, fuck, dude. I feel like total shit, man. I took some, fuck this called. I took this flu away thing. It's like a drink. Tastes like oranges.
Ball dropped.
I drank that shit, and it has like some melatonin in it.
Did some damage.
It's knocking me out.
We have the ball.
But my fucking body temperature is starting to raise, which is no good.
Taking damage.
Ball dropped. Enemy has the ball.
Allied carrier down.
Surprise, motherfucker. Oh, never mind.
Enemy Spartans closing in.
Grenade out.
Ball dropped.
Reloading.
We have the ball. Enemy
Did you
has
just
the
shoot me through
ball.
a fucking wall? What?
Tagged one.
Ball dropped. We have the ball.
We've lost possession.
What are you going, bro? What's over here?
Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped. Enemy has the
God,
ball.
my teammate literally just left me there.
Ball dropped. Ball out of bounds.
Alright, cool.
Enemy halfway to victory.
Smart place, I know.
Incoming. We have the ball. Ball
See,
dropped.
we're set up.
Allied carrier down. Over shield inbound.
Taking fire.
Overshield available.
Ball dropped.
Taking damage.
Ball dropped.
Where the fuck
Enemy
did my
has the
nade
ball.
go, man? What?
Dropped. We have the ball.
What fucking
Ball
bullshit
dropped.
was that?
We lost possession. That's a reliable weapon right there.
Grab it.
We have the ball.
Ammo reserves depleting.
Ball dropped. We have the ball. Ball dropped.
Allied carrier down.
Got him.
Enemy has the ball.
I really thought that
Ball
killed both of
dropped.
them. I really did.
Enemy has the ball.
Well, this dude's using the commando rifle, so that's sign number one. He's trash.
Ball dropped. Enemy has the ball.
Spartan down.
Dropped.
Hey, kill him. Are you serious?
Enemy has the ball. Enemy team nearing victory.
This dude's gonna run in against a 1v3 and think he's
Eyes
shit.
up.
Ball dropped.
An ally has slain the carrier.
Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped.
Hostile carrier down.
We have the ball.
Power items inbound.
Did some damage. Shields are down.
Power items on the field. Better them than us.
Ball dropped.
Frag out.
Hang on tight, Spartan.
Ball dropped.
Overshield over here.
Spartan down.
Ball dropped.
What the fuck?
Enemy has the ball.
Enemy overshield is active.
These dudes are ass.
Defeat.
They suck ass. Check him motherfuckers on. Oh, my fucking York just got robbed. See this motherfucker's on. Fucking hell. Oh, dude, what the fuck is Stoof? This Pepsi feels good. Oh, dude. Oh my god, level 2 in a game. That's interesting.
They're close.
This is like Halo 5 where I got halfway through a fucking match and just being spawn killed.
Enemy team secured a power seat.
Taking damage.
Enemy team secured a power seat.
The enemy is at half power.
Low on ammo.
Fuck off me.
Their entire squad is cannon fodder. Your enemies have 1 power seed remaining. The enemy team has scored. Power seed stockpile incoming. Taking fire!
Enemy team secured a power seat. Your team loaded a power seat. Really sorry about that.
There, hostile in sight.
Almost out of ammo, Sparky.
Power seeds are ready to secure.
The enemy's loaded a power seat. Hey, a sidekick.
My little AI is my sidekick, bro.
Ground vehicle delivery confirmed.
Grab the equipment.
Heads up. Ordnance drop inbound.
I fucking hate single shot.
There's no way that thing is safe.
Your team has stolen an enemy power seed. Your team has stolen an enemy power seed.
How about not kill him? See what I mean? That thing fucking sucks, bro. It's absolute ass cheeks.
The enemy has stolen a power seed.
No fucking way.
Got the pickup.
Dancer.
Spartan down. Watch my back.
Enemy team secured a power seat.
Your enemies have 1 power seed remaining. Enemy team has scored.
Damn, that fucking. That so sucked. That was actually really cool. Oh man, dude. Again, bro? What the fuck, me? And it's the same game mode too. This game mode fucking sucks.
Team loaded a power seed.
Enemies on me. Too many of us. Enemy spawns are closing in.
Team loaded a power seed.
Your team needs one more power seed.
Hopefully this level drives me to get a challenge.
That shot got way too many of us.
The enemy's loaded a power seed. The enemy's loaded a power seed.
Enemies have one power seed remaining.
Over there. Hostiles in sight.
Number one rule, if you ever watch me, if you're
Your
gonna
team
drive
just
your Warthog,
scored.
right? Listen to me. This is the biggest fucking rule.
Power
ever,
seed
because
stockpile
you never
incoming.
stop moving, no matter what.
Ordnance incoming!
It does not matter.
Repulsor obtained.
Power seeds are ready to secure.
We want to keep it.
Ground vehicle requisition.
Enemies below us. Got the pickup.
Heads up! Ordnance drop inbound! That was insane, Spartan!
What the fuck was that? Oh. Not against the lines.
We are one power seed closer. Don't let up on that trigger, Spartan! Our team loaded a power seed.
Your team has reached half power. Your team needs one more power seed. Your team just scored.
Our team loaded a power seed.
Let's go.
Power seeds
Oh,
are
it's
ready
a
to
piece
secure.
again.
Closing in. Gotta drop it.
Heads up! Ordnance drop inbound!
Dude. I don't understand how you can be so shit at a game. I hate the fact that I have to complete challenges with them.
Enemy team has scored.
The enemy's loaded a power seed.
Power seeds ready to secure.
Team, load the power seed.
Dynamo out.
That one's not getting up.
Your team has reached half power.
Almost out of ammo, Spartan. Keep it up.
Your team needs one more power seed. Your team just scored.
I lived. Alright, 5 more kills. Ugh. 5 more kills and that challenge is done. Ooh-wee, what's that sound? Ooh. My shit be hurting. I think I have a boost for it. Yep, an XP boost.
Total control. Capture all zones to score.
We gotta hold all three. This is gonna be interesting. Friendly's capping his zone.
Welcome to Halo.
Zone lost.
Hello?
Oh.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, my guy? How you been? How's your...
Dude, I am shitty.
It didn't take you out?
Huh?
Oh man, you and Aaron both are going through it, man.
Fucking, she's fine, bro. She ain't got nothing wrong with her.
Oh
My
man.
dad got it. I gave it to him. He started feeling bad yesterday. Yeah, man. Fucking back injury and then fucking immediately sick. I was like, God damn it, bro. I can't catch a break.
It's like that sometimes.
I was like, fuck, man. Like, what the hell? But, you know. We're getting through it.
Absolutely.
I'll get fucking better and I'll be back in the gym. How you been, bro? How are things?
Pretty good. The week's been pretty chill. Nothing crazy.
That's good, that's good. I saw your AM rap. That was nice.
Yeah. I guess when I Dog, on that last pool at my meet, I don't know, like, I don't know what that was, but it's like my mind, body, and spirit all on.
Yeah.
And I like understand, like, I can pull sumo now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my body just knows immediately what to do.
You
It's
build a
weird.
connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yeah, man. That's good. Fucking, you hopping on?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Are you down? What are you trying to? Do you want to play the same thing we played last time, or do you want to go into quick play?
We can play the same thing we played last time.
Alright, that sounds good to me. More laid back and chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, fucking, I'm glad to hear that you're doing good.
Yeah, man. We're just, sometimes just so much goes on in life that you never just take a second just to, like, breathe. You know?
Yeah. Fucking being forced to breathe also fucking sucks though, because I want to be doing shit. I'm like,
No,
fuck, man.
Sometimes you just need a second to just, like, lay down and relax.
Yeah, man, I feel that. Dude, I didn't get any fucking sleep last night. Apparently I passed out like at 10.
Mhm.
Maya woke me up because I was way too hot. I have a fever of like 101.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, bro. I'm pretty cooled down now.
Uh-huh.
My whole body is like aching, fam. It sucks. And then add that fucking back spasm I just had on top of it. Ah, dude. It's just like pulsing.
Shit, man.
Hell yeah, man. Alright, bro. Let's talk. It's time.
Alright, let's do it.
Alright. So give me your position on how does the phrase the end just
Total
means?
control.
What does that mean to you?
Capture all zones to score.
It means that to achieve your goal, you're willing to do whatever it takes. Even if that means going against good moral value. Or I would go a step further.
Uh-huh.
I would say that
Control
you're
all
willing
three
to do
zones
whatever.
score.
To do whatever. Okay.
Right. So in a sense, to meet your goal, you'll become moralist.
Okay. Yeah.
An ally's capturing a zone.
And to be honest, depending on the situation, I agree.
Taking damage.
Now, there are extremes to that. Like, let's say, for example, now when I say extremes, I mean like, let's say
Our ammo reserves are low.
you're in the
Your
United
team is
States
close to total
and you
control.
got protect against a threat.
Capturing a zone.
In some situations, you're gonna have to cast your morals aside to protect the country.
Oh god. Here we go.
Uh-huh.
Enemy is capturing a
And
zone.
that's that. In other situations, though, like let's say your goal is to, I don't know, be at the head of a corporation. That's when I'm like, okay, now
Team is close
that's
to
when we
total
get into the
control.
area where it's like, no, that's not.
Okay. So that's your interpretation of it. It's you throw morals out the window. That's the interpretation.
Right. Yes.
It's basically like the gist of it, right? Okay, so I think of it as, and see the way I think of it, I think it's you're willing to make sacrifices and what's needed to be done according to your own code.
Zone lost.
Meaning that I'm willing to sacrifice A, B, or C so I can get to my goal or have this accomplished.
Right.
Allies capturing a zone.
That's interesting.
And that's my mindset, right? But the actual definition of it is, I find interesting because it's like a you versus the world type
Ground
of idea,
vehicle
right?
requisition.
Right.
Like that's a dog eat dog world.
Allies capturing a zone.
And what I find interesting about it is it's very true, especially in Western cultures.
Mm-hmm.
But I do
The
not
enemy seized a zone.
the
Zone captured.
notion that it's inherently a negative trait to have or a thought process to have. I find to be BS.
Your team is
I think it
close
has
to
its
total
positive
control.
merits.
In what aspects do you believe it's positive?
For example, like accomplishments, man. Do you know light bulbs, right?
Right.
Prime example of the guy who made them, like, the original dude who made it like fucking public and actually started marketing it and selling it to the grand public to actually start installing electricity. It was not his idea. He stole it, I believe. I don't want to misquote. Was it Tesla? Tesla was the one, right? I don't remember if it's him or another guy, but somebody else invented it, and he was the one that just capitalized it and was sold it. Morally bad? Yes, but look where it got us.
Taking fire.
So you're saying that? Okay, I
An ally's capturing a zone.
see what you're saying.
It's a broad example.
Almost out of ammo, Spartan.
But do you think the person that did that, did they do it for the betterment of humanity, or did they do it for the betterment of themselves?
Well, I don't. Well, the intent to me doesn't matter.
Total control
To him,
for
the
enemy.
ends justified the means. Like sometimes the best
You've got new
intentions,
zones incoming.
Ordnance incoming.
the best intentions can lead to the worst outcomes, right?
Target spotted.
That's very true. I agree.
And his intentions obviously were not. He was trying to make money in the day. Did he have any idea what it would lead to? Probably fucking not. He might have acted like he was, doing it for like greater good. But he wasn't. Like, you know, he was a bullshitter. But regardless of how you feel about
New
it,
zones are ready for capture.
that action and that belief is what got us here today. How common electricity is.
Friendly's capping a zone.
Okay. So in that sense,
Hostiles are capturing a
okay,
zone.
I see that.
This locality.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
Their entire squad
Like-
is cannon fodder.
to say it's like it's inherently a bad thing, right? It depends on like where your moral standpoint is.
Keep the street
Right.
Because at the end of the day, each individual has their own sense of mobility. Like
Right.
what is honorable, what is not honorable. There is no set definition.
Hostiles are capturing a
And I
zone.
think it also varies on
Good.
the culture a person's in,
Uh huh.
kind of the generational and what the generation itself.
So do you think?
for the enemy?
Well, I don't know, because I think the saying has
You've
gone
got
through
new
every
zones
culture
incoming.
throughout history.
I agree.
Like,
Heads up. Ordnance drop inbound.
Well, let's go this way. For example,
uh-huh.
I'll think of an example.
An ally's capturing a zone.
Here's a good one.
New zones are ready for capture.
What do you think? What is something that our generation? Me and you are roughly the same age. What is something that our generation values?
Allies capture the zone.
Ooh.
Zone's ours. What
Money,
now?
money and sex.
Absolutely. So, our generation having
Ordnance
the
drop inbound.
greatest amount of
An ally's capturing a zone.
money is seen as good, right?
Enemy zombie.
And so, to obtain more money, people in our
Your
generation
team has
will
total control.
do whatever it takes to obtain that.
Yeah.
If it means,
You got new
you know,
zones
sex work,
incoming.
if that means you know,
OnlyFans is probably an example.
people, yeah, OnlyFans.
Ammo
Yeah,
depleting.
So,
And you see out, like you actually see
Zones are ready
people
for capture.
adopt the ideology that the ends justify the means because they're willing to do whatever it takes to obtain that one thing.
Zone lost.
And that's where I think that becomes a problem because they then don't value themselves, nor do they value other people.
Your enemy
do you
is
think that
nearing
it's
total
linked to
control.
The
narcissism?
enemy seized a zone. An ally's capturing a zone.
Actually, no, I do not.
Grab the repulsor.
Your enemy is nearing total
That's a
control.
great question.
Zone captured.
Because I believe it depends on the circumstances. Because I do believe that in some cases,
People are starting to talk.
for all right, so you remember Donzo, right? Not let's go Naruto.
Yeah.
Donzo 100% had the ideology that ends justify the means, because he was willing to do whatever he took for the state, if that meant killing the Atia,
Friendly
if that
tapping his
meant taking their eyes and making himself stronger.
Killing
if that
his best friend.
Absolutely. But he did it for the sake of the village. Was Donzo a narcissist?
No. Not a
Absolutely.
narcissist, but
Better them than us. Zone lost. Hostiles are capturing a
well,
zone.
if we use the example, if you're doing it for, I think we need to
But then,
define.
hey, I don't
Okay,
really
so I think we need to come up with a definition of.
Enemy seized a zone.
I think there's two different ways you can interpret this, right?
right.
So, here's how I'm seeing it.
Repulsor up.
There's the end justify the means for personal gain,
Right.
and then there's the end justify the means
Allies
for,
capture the zone.
let's just say, a group. Whether that be country, whether that
Team
be
is close to
kin,
total control.
whether that be your best friends, you know, your fucking gang. Regardless, it's for the betterment of not just yourself, but what you associate yourself with. So,
Heads up. Ordnance drop
if
inbound.
that's the case, how is it morally wrong to be the
team is
one
close
that
to
wants the
total
best for
control.
themselves? Or what I'm saying is, which one is worse?
Because do you believe that when someone says they're doing it for the greater good of a country or their people, that they're essentially using their people as a
A crutch to justify their actions.
absolutely, that's exactly the word I was going to say.
Ground vehicle requisitioned.
Your team is close to
I
total
believe in some,
control.
yeah. But I believe in other cases
Enemy is capturing a zone.
that they're genuinely trying to protect the greatest amount of people possible. But I do believe it all comes from a selfish
The enemy
nature,
seized a zone.
or
An ally's capturing a zone.
then I guess it would be narcissistic.
Well, Donzo, I think Donzo was narcissistic because he thought he'd be the only good Hokage.
So then, if we're using that as a prime example, then because essentially when people say that and they do it for the greater good, essentially they have claimed themselves to take on the role of God.
They're playing God.
Absolutely.
Incredible performance, Spartan.
And they're saying that their moral judgment
Zone captured.
You're beginning to make this look
supersedes all other moral judgments for the outcome that's beneficial.
Glad I'm in your head and not that head.
Ooh, now this is interesting.
It is, because I don't.
Because then that literally means anyone that adopts that, or that essentially means that in order to adopt that, you have to be a narcissist. There's no other way.
I don't think it's true.
Ooh, they can't stop
You
you.
believe someone can not be a narcissist and have that
Zone
belief?
lost.
Well, when you go to the gym, are you going there to beat other people, or are you going there to beat yourself?
You go there to beat yourself.
Yeah, well, some people go to beat other people, though.
That's very true.
An
Where
ally's
is that?
capturing a zone.
So, but when you're going to the gym, you know, it's like, how do I? When you want to be good at something, it requires
Enemy
a
is capturing a
sacrifice,
zone.
right?
Right.
So I think that not just like the ideology itself, like you can believe that, but even if you don't necessarily believe it, everyone participates in it in some form of
Performance,
fashion.
Spartan.
Because the only way to be a champion at anything is to sacrifice something in your life,
Right.
whether it be time, relationships, and that goes for anything. If you want a relationship with somebody, you're bound to upset
Now,
somebody
I'm
else
capturing a zone.
because you had a relationship with somebody.
Right.
And at that
Friendly's
point,
capping a
then
zone.
you could insert that thought as do the end justify
Your
the
team
means.
is close to total control.
Zone captured.
Huh.
Reloading.
I don't necessarily think. I think the interpretation that it's an ideology to live by, I think, is wrong. I think it works I think it works hand in hand with nature,
Ticket to the skies is on the way.
with energy itself.
Really?
Yeah,
When you're-
because like
I gotta get your point.
if it didn't, right? If it fucking didn't, humans as people, we would not be able to project ourselves in any form of fashion. Because we wouldn't be able to make sacrifices that were needed for A, B, or C. You know, the fucking cars were not invented through somebody else pleasing other fucking people. You know, the fucking
Your team is close to total control.
fucking going to the moon. That's a great fucking example. That cost a shit ton of money, resources, all for a petty cold.
Please. Never.
Right?
In that situation, the ends justify the means.
Yeah, but look where the fuck it's gotten us now, though. Because of that
Enemy is
single
capturing a
action.
zone.
So at that point, yes, it does. But at that time, do you think they were thinking, okay, the ends justify the means? Or do you think they were thinking, we need to do
Ordnance
this
incoming!
because this is the outcome
Your
of the
team is
means?
close to total control.
An ally.
They were
has
definitely
captured the
doing
zone.
it because they thought that that was the outcome that was needed.
Exactly.
Enemies
So,
on
my point is that the thought that we can either, hey, live by this, I think is wrong. I think that's inherently stupid.
This is bad.
See,
Simply because
I
it
get,
works
I,
hand in
get,
hand.
I get what you're saying.
Starting
So,
to talk.
people shouldn't live by that principle, so to speak, because at the end of the day, it's technically a principle.
Yeah.
They should live by that principle
Okay, so wait,
But
wait,
they-
wait.
Nailed that
to
shot.
adopt it in certain
Allies
situations.
captured the zone.
Are we going to? So are we in agreement that it's not
Your
an
team is close to
ideology?
total
It's
control.
a principle.
Tagged one.
An ally's capturing a zone.
I believe it's a principle.
I agree because I don't think. Yeah, because I don't think it's not necessarily
team
a
has total
belief
control.
that somebody has. You know,
You got new
like some
zones
people,
incoming.
sure, will fucking obviously think, okay, like, I need to do this, and this, but at the, like when they're making decisions, I highly doubt what's going through their head is, okay, does this justify this? You know, like, they're not thinking they're not thinking deeply about it. It's more just reaction based.
Right, absolutely. They're not. They're like.
They're not going, does this fit my ideology at all?
Capture.
It's more of. So
In
we're-
order.
uh-huh.
Go ahead.
We're now
Go
in
ahead.
overtime. Make it
No,
count,
you go ahead.
Spartan.
Zone captured.
It's not a. It's not a. It works hand in hand with nature, as a whole.
An ally's capturing a zone.
Because, for example,
Keep it
let's
up.
say you're a tiger, right? And you have to eat. And there's this calf and it's
Team is
walking
close
away.
to total control.
Or it's like this baby calf. You gotta kill this calf so you can eat.
Friendly's
Yeah.
capping a zone.
But
So
nature doesn't
the-
care.
Right, absolutely.
So, if nature doesn't care,
Why do people care?
exactly.
I think people care when people use that principle to their own, when they use it
Enemy is
to
capturing a zone.
justify heinous acts. Like,
To go back to the point of the
capturing a
narcissism
zone.
or to justify as a group behavior, I think it's much worse for the group behavior. Because then
Really?
you separate yourself and
Let
your
it in
group
your
from
head and
others,
not that head.
and then you can see them as lesser.
really?
Zone.
That's a
Ammo
fascinating
reserves depleting.
point.
So,
Your enemy's
So you think it's worse when someone uses a group rather than
well,
because essentially that's what Nazi Germany did.
exactly. That's exactly. I literally was just about to say that. Like Donzo, he didn't give a shit about anybody else outside the village.
enemies
No,
in total
he didn't.
He was willing to. He would cause a genocide on any village if it meant the security of the village, or what he thought was.
Your enemies
It's very
in
true.
total control.
And when you have a banner for the greater good of your people, and people cling to that, like, oh, this is me, then that's when humans are able to justify immoral actions against other people. You know, you have to think, dude, the people on Auschwitz that were pulling the fucking levers for gas people, and torturing them, they would go home to their families. They had wives, they had kids, you know,
Team
they
is
were normal
close to
people.
total control.
And they thought their actions was justified.
Because they were taught that these were not them, that they were lesser
Allies capturing a
beings.
zone.
They were manipulated into thinking that. They were following orders.
Hostiles are capturing a zone.
What I think is fascinating is when you, and a lot of people say that they would never have adopted or would do something like that.
They would that.
Allies capture the zone.
But absolutely, and when you listen to, I listened to a thing by Jordan Peterson, and he was like, you would have,
Frag out!
Enemy
or
is capturing a
majority
zone.
of people, because a lot of people are very, they don't have a will of their own, and so someone else's will can kind of dictate their action.
Yes.
And so people are easily manipulated. So if you had to have a weak will, you 100% would have broke what not determined was, because they'd have been like, "You don't do what we want." I mean,
There's a
you know,
famous picture from a Hitler speech. I'm sure you've seen it. It's after the speech ends, everybody in the crowd is saluting. Women, children, every fucking buddy. And there's one man in the center of everybody who just crossed his arms, refusing.
Wait, that happened?
Yes, it's a famous picture. I don't think there's a bigger story behind it, but it is a picture that you can look up of a dude who just
See,
didn't fucking salute.
and they probably called him crazy. They probably wanted him dead.
Uh-huh. Because the problem with that is, though, when that example happens, and when you idolize a group or you become like a cult, right? Or you become, if you see yourself as that, when somebody who fits that criteria, who was supposed to be you, doesn't agree with you, it breaks everything that's your belief system down completely.
Absolutely.
Bro, when oh my god, I think a prime example is racism. It's pure as that, bro. Like when you
Well, racism is founded on the belief that one race is superior to another race.
but
and-
race is not real though.
I know it's not. And that race is defined by the color of your skin,
Mhm.
which is a facade. Well, race is a cultural is a social construct used so that we can differentiate people, so to speak.
Divide.
Absolutely.
Well, the race was created to make it to where you could say that about other people. But when somebody else that you like are fond of, right? Maybe you fall in love, like say this white dude falls in love with a black girl, and he's like, well, fuck. Like my whole fucking perspective, my whole life is like, right? But back to the original point though, to like full circle, that the ends justify the means. In my fucking belief, that is, if you're doing it for a cause, for a group, it is so much more dangerous than a person who will fuck over anybody so they can get their goals accomplished.
Now, do you believe that? And this is me just playing devil's advocate. Do you think that someone can have that principle, but actually have goodwill
No.
with it? Really?
No. Not at all. Because listen, dude.
Now, in this case, I'll disagree with you.
Okay.
Because I do believe
Well,
in certain extreme circumstances that for the greater good, you would have to adopt that. But then I'm essentially contradicting myself. With that stance, because then it would be for the betterment of a particular group, not the greater good of all humankind.
it's not the same.
Right? No, it wouldn't be. And if you do take that stance,
Well, there are some people who do the ends justify the means for humanity as a whole.
now do you think that's
Red
actually?
sensor acquired.
Do you think that's actually something that can be done?
Well, I think
And it not divulge into you're doing it for yourself. Because a lot of people, like we said before, a while back, that essentially if they adopt that
An ally has
instead
taken
of doing it
the
for the greater good of all humanity, they're essentially just playing God.
Took their flag.
So essentially, now they have a God
I
complex.
think yeah, okay, I agree, but I think it goes back to my original. I don't think in any circumstance, because throughout human history, Rome, right, when they would appoint a leader in times of war and crisis, they would give all the military power. How many leaders did they go through that would actually relinquish that power?
None.
No, they did. They had a few. There was like
The enemy carrier.
maybe 2 or 3,
Ow! You nailed
right?
that shot.
But what ultimately
Enemy
happened,
captured the flag.
what caused Rome to fall, eventually?
Ordnance
Julius Caesar,
incoming.
who refused to give up his military power. Because he felt that his leadership for Rome was the only one. Like, he was Donzo.
Low on ammo. I'll teach you not to screw with us.
The enemy has your
Interesting.
flag.
Do you think the United States has that ideology?
Yes.
Or that
Oh my
principle?
god, yes.
Taking our flag. Enemy flag carrier revealed.
I think it does too. I think you see it in the.
Well, our foreign policy, man.
Enemy returned.
We're
their
involved
cool.
with everything in the fucking
An
world.
ally returned our flag.
Why?
Because we're trying to. Why are we?
Because we believe that our system is better than everyone else's system. It's as simple as that. And I think it is,
Better them than us.
personally.
Ooh, they can't stop you.
Wheels en route.
There's an inherent truth behind it, but that does not mean that we have the jurisdiction or the right to force somebody to live on the red system.
Right. I think you definitely see it in the military, and how certain people go to different countries.
Satisfying.
Incredible performance, Spartan.
I think a military, they have to. That's their
Right.
job. They don't have a choice in the matter. Because if they don't, the ends, eventually it'll be the other side making a decision, you know? And it's not an ideology, because we've already discussed it's a principle,
The enemy has your
Right.
flag.
and it's necessary. But, like, I don't think there's nothing inherently wrong with doing whatever it takes to reach your
The
own
enemy
personal
carrier.
goals. There's not anybody on the fucking planet who has worked towards something that didn't break a few eggs along the way.
That is very true. If you look at every millionaire, billionaire, at some point, they had to do something. They had to.
Returned our flag.
Now, do you believe this? Do you believe you have to sacrifice your values in order to hold that principle?
Well, it depends on the person and their values. Like, I think Larry Wheels, you know, now he posts, like, thought shit with his fucking wife. And, like, makes fucking reels out of it, but that's what sells.
Right.
And that's not what he was in the beginning, or what made him fucking famous.
Yeah. So you
Right.
think he sacrificed his values to he adopted the principle that ends justify the means.
Incredible
So then he
performance,
sacrificed some of his values.
I don't think he might have realized it. Because he's never stated what his values are.
It's very true.
Like, the only way to make that claim, right, is if you know the values or the person.
It's true.
Like, like Lara said, bro, you can never truly see what's deep
Ground
inside
vehicle
somebody.
delivery confirmed.
Yeah. It takes a lot to bring that out.
It does.
The enemy has your flag.
Most people hide behind a facade. of what they
Especially on social media, man.
No, absolutely, bro. Social media is nothing. It's nothing but a game
Enemy flag carrier spotted.
of who can appear
Ordnance drop
to look
inbound.
better than the other person. That's all it is. Who looks like they have their life more together than the other person? Now, in rare
The enemy
cases,
carrier.
and this is where I believe someone becomes Instagram famous, is where you have an anomaly where someone is 100% authentic on social media.
Ally has taken the enemy flag.
And that's where you get these personalities on social media. But the problem that is happening is that, and I'll use me as an example.
Enemy returned their flag.
My IG is Full Metal Steph, right? And so if someone adopts the ideology or the ends justify the means, or the principle the ends justify the means, like you mix it up. Then they'll say that if their goal is to be famous, I'll do whatever it takes to reach that
Incredible
end.
performance, Spartan.
And so they will literally become the persona that they're
The enemy has
projecting.
your flag.
And you have to be careful with that. I saw it almost happen to me. And you see it happen to other people where they lose themselves trying to be something that they're essentially not.
Yeah. So, but I don't see.
Ordnance incoming.
So, morally, there's something wrong with that. Yes. And I don't think it's the best way to go about getting famous on social media. I think it's much easier to be yourself.
Taken the enemy flag.
However, like, take you for example. Like, we can use you again. You want to be the greatest powerlifter in the world, correct? That's your ultimate goal. That's it.
No, that's gonna happen.
It's gonna yeah, that's gonna happen, right?
The enemy has
I
your flag.
completely agree with you, and I can foresee that in the fucking future. That is your dream and is your goal that is going to become a reality. However, do you think that you're not gonna have to make sacrifices?
Now this is very good.
The enemy
Now this
carrier.
is very good.
Because if you think that, I'm sorry, brother, but you're fucking naive.
Now then,
Ground
okay,
vehicle
then
requisition.
we'll do this.
The enemy carrier has got
If I do want to be the greatest,
enemy flag
and I
carrier.
will be the
revealed.
greatest, and I have the principle that the ends justify the means, or I adopt that principle in certain situations,
Enemy returned their flag.
The enemy carrier has been.
I'm going to have to put my body through extreme stress, trauma, and I'm gonna have to. There's going to be risk involved,
Yes.
but the ends justify the means. So.
But not
Or
just
that's
that,
like
though.
someone, or
Social.
I'm not going to use me as an example. I'll use, let's just say someone wants to be the greatest powerlifter in the world, right?
Yeah.
And they can't progress their strength anymore. So now they have to take steroids. Where before they said that they would never take steroids.
But they've hit their genetic potential,
Absolutely.
so now they have to.
Right. But they're justified because their end goal is that they want to be the greatest.
Yeah. It's justified.
Wow. That's crazy.
Because, like, no matter what, bro, regardless of how you feel about certain situations, you're going to make sacrifices to
Right.
accomplish anything. Do I want to be a successful streamer? Do I want to have my Instagram grow? What is that going to take? Time. I have to invest lots of time and give up a lot of my outside stuff. I don't have a social life outside of, the gym and my Xbox.
Right.
Does it take its toll? Yeah, it does. But for me to be able to do this and do what I love, I have to make that commitment.
Right.
There's been plenty of times where I've had to go to a gym session to skip out on, like, hanging out with people.
Or you tell a girl like, "Oh, I can't come out," or I can't see today, or we
I
can't,
can't go out to
do
eat dinner
this.
because I have a meal plan. Prime example. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. I just think that the end justifies the means for person to person. Yes, I completely agree. Now, if it comes to a group or like a company, right, and you fuck over hundreds or even thousands, that's when it becomes negative. That's a problem. To get your company to where it's at, to where your dream is accomplished,
Take down your targets
cool.
quickly.
But the second it switches from that mentality of I wanted to do this and I'm going to accomplish it to I need to make sure that my people are protected, it becomes dangerous.
I see your point, and I agree with it. I think that on an individualistic
Kills.
level,
Win. Drop ball
it's very
acquired.
positive. But on a group level, it is very dangerous. Ooh.
But the only reason why it's positive, though, is because eventually you will reach that goal, and it no longer becomes about that.
No, absolutely.
Incredible performance, Spartan.
And that's where the that's where it lies. Because like eventually afterwards, well, that's what I think. Like if you became the greatest powerlifter in the world, right? When you do, afterwards, now what is it?
Plasma grenades acquired.
Do you do whatever it fucking takes to maintain that fucking title, or do you become humble, accept that you've accomplished it?
I think that depends on the person.
Well, exactly, right? So in the beginning, it's positive. Ultimately, though, it's the end result that matter.
Well, I get your point, but I think it can divulge into a negative.
Oh,
If once you reach your goal, you now have no real reason to keep that goal or to keep that position, then essentially now you're doing it for your own ego. Or to kind of feed your ego.
Well, I think ultimately
they
you're
can't
feeding the
stop
ego
you.
either way.
Oh,
You
yes.
have to have an ego to be the best at anything.
That's
You can
true.
be humble, yes, but you also need to understand your own position.
And your worth, your value.
Because if you don't understand it, you're gonna fall behind, and people will walk.
Absolutely.
It's a give and take. Much like everything else in life, it requires balance.
Right.
Ammo reserves depleting.
Incredible performance, Spartan.
I'm fucking going off on that stuff. These kids ain't got nothing on me.
Ground vehicle en route.
I think it's interesting that we've come to the conclusion that it's an ideology and it's a principle.
Yeah.
Because for hundreds of years, it's been considered the opposite.
Now, why would people think that it's a ideology?
It's incoming.
Because ideologies are a group of principles. Or what is that? Isn't that what an ideology is? I'm not sure. Or what is your definition of an ideology?
Your guiding principles is how I would describe it.
So you would say a group of principles.
Yeah. I think it's a group of things that make up your
Rapid
beliefs.
shot acquired.
It's not just one
Okay.
thing.
Okay, this is very true. So why do people think that it's an ideology? It's definitely not. It's definitely a principle.
Maybe because they associate it with being so negative.
That's true.
Because majority of the examples used are always, terrible acts.
But people don't see that they naturally do it already. On an individualistic scale.
What I found interesting, you watched that video that you sent, right? That's what
Yeah.
What I found interesting is how he says that it's much better to work alongside nature, and that's much more beneficial to life. And I find that interesting that he doesn't see the connection between what he believes in the ideology versus the principle that connect to nature. Because like, if you think about it, you could say that somebody could only operate that the ends justify the means. I will do what I need to do, right? And that's the only thing that they're gonna think about.
And then in that case, you would think it's coming out and ideology.
But I don't think that's so.
But then that person would almost be like a psychopath. Because at that point, that's the only thing guiding their actions. They would have absolutely no empathy for no one else.
Well, then they have no other principles, so that's when it becomes. So I think that's the mistake people make. It becomes that when you don't have any other principles to guide your life.
Dog, are we figuring out like what's going on in the head of a psychopath?
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe that's a fucking secret. They don't see the only thing that runs their life, and they don't realize it, is the ends justify the means. That's the only guiding principle they have. So to them, it's justified. There is no empathy.
All of their actions are justified.
Exactly. To them, they are. And that's why most are confused about when they get called out for it. That's why they fake emotions.
Interesting. So do you think you could, and this is very interesting, now that I'm getting to know about psychopaths. Do you think you can change someone from being a psychopath?
No.
Why?
I believe that majority of psychopaths are missing. There's something that is missing from the brain. Is a very complicated chemical makeup.
Right.
So to say that you can change the, well, you could, right? You could take like bipolar people.
The brain is essentially, the brain isn't solid. It's plastic. It can change, so to speak. I'm using change loosely. It can change. My argument is that, can you get someone who's a psychopath to adopt new values and principles and change them?
Well, I think it has to completely, for that to happen, ultimately, it has to completely rock their fucking world. The only principle, because like, how do you change somebody who has no other principles, no emotional attachment, nothing, but to themselves, right? How do you do that? Like, to completely change someone's perspective, you have to change their fucking life in some form of capacity.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that someone's perspective is their reality, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, all you would have to do is change their perspective, and then I think that would be essentially the catapulting thing to get in there and do it. But changing someone's perspective is extremely hard.
Well, yeah, it takes
Another victory, Spartan.
takes time to remove them out of that and place
Right.
it. It takes time to take someone out of their reality and make it into their own.
Right.
Bring them into yours. Ah, this is weird.
Not even bringing it into yours, but just bringing it to somewhere neutral, where you can essentially give them the values and principles that they either need or you want to give them.
So, if you're giving someone principles, right?
Bro, I just want to tell you, bro, this conversation is fucking wild, though.
It is wild. So, if you... But wouldn't you consider that to be a negative thing?
What, breaking someone's...
No. Well,
No?
like, it depends. Not that, no. Giving someone other principles.
If your intention is to help them. Because
your
I
intention
think...
can be good, but it can also have a worse outcome.
That's very true. I think... And again, it's back to do the ends justify the means. If the end is that you want this person to, let's say, for example, a psychopath. If your end is for you want this psychopath to have empathy for others, and the only means you have to do that is to completely shatter their perspective and give them new values and principles, then essentially they would be justified. But the
to
person
do that, you would have to make them rely on others. Because that's the only way that would work, right? How do you become empathetic toward people with somebody who only cares for themselves? You have to make them reliant on other people.
It's very true. Oh, that is very true.
Because they only see meaning from beneficial to themselves, right?
Right.
So, how do you make it to where you would have to create a scenario where they become completely reliant on one person, and they have to help this person for to help themselves.
Or not necessarily relying on one person, but relying on a group.
Yes.
And that's how... That's very good. I wonder if churches understand this. And that's kind of what they try to do.
I think churches ends justify the means is a prime example of the group mentality.
Really?
Fuck yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you know how many heinous fucking acts against humanity have been committed in the name of God?
Absolutely, 100%.
I think it's the biggest fucking example ever in human history of how ends justify the means as a group is so fucking dangerous.
Capture the flag.
Like,
Capture
let's
enemy
use
flags to
Elon
score.
Musk, right? He is a prime example of ends justify the means for his own gain.
Right.
He does not give a fuck about his workers or the people underneath him that run Tesla. You know, he's laid off plenty of people, not giving them their bonuses, yada yada yada, right? And yeah, that's fucked. But what is he going to do for the accomplishment of humanity as a whole? He's gonna put us on Mars. He is going to propel humanity forward.
Do you think that Elon Musk is a psychopath?
Slightly, yes.
Okay. I was gonna say the same thing. I listened to an interview of his, and I know he's 100. I believe that he's extremely smart. His level of intelligence is on another level.
I know, bro. At a young age, he picked a car apart and then put it back together in his own way. Like, how the fuck?
I think just the way his brain operates, and he probably knows so much. Like, he probably just knows how the world works on a fundamental level. And I think having that much knowledge just...
Ordnance drop inbound.
Do you think he's fucked up? Well, no, because he has kids and a wife who he does love.
Right.
He has aspirations for them, you know?
Right. But I just think he sees life very differently.
Oh,
most
100%.
And so it allows him to kind of move in a way that a lot of people wouldn't understand. It's kind of like us. Like we're both. So, like the way we act and the things we do,
The enemy carrier.
most people wouldn't get it. But because we know so much and, you know, we understand how the world works, so to speak.
So is knowledge power or is it a curse?
The enemy carrier has revealed themselves.
You remember in Spider-Man when Uncle Ben says, with great power comes great responsibility?
Enemy
Yes.
captured. The
I
flag.
believe it operates that way. I believe that it can be a blessing if used in the right hands. If given in the right hands, or a curse if in the wrong hands. Because if you have this knowledge and you're a good person and you want to help people, you know, now it's a good thing. It's great. You know, a lot of people are going to benefit from you knowing this. But if, you know, all you want is greed, envy, jealousy, lust, the 7 deadly sins, so to speak, then, you know, it's gonna turn into something very ugly.
Incredible.
And I think we
performance,
see both examples of that in today's society.
Heads up. Ordnance drop
Yeah, I
inbound.
agree. I think he operates in the sense of he'll sacrifice current in the name of the future of humanity.
Shield.
So do you think he has that principle that ends justify the means?
Oh, 100%.
I agree.
He does.
But I don't think that's his. I don't think he carries it as an ideology. I think he carries it as a principle.
Oh yeah, because he has multiple principles.
Right.
That's why he's making fucking good cars. Like why? Tesla is not just a money fucking front. He wanted to change the car industry. His whole goal is to propel humanity forward. With him making like good fucking cars.
So let's go this route. So we can agree that Elon Musk does have the principle the ends justify the means. It's not an ideology for him.
Threat
I would
sensor
then
obtained.
retract my argument. I would say he's not a psychopath. That he has some type of empathy, but his dream and mission in
Ally
life
has taken the enemy flag.
is so great that
The enemy
he
carrier
has to be
revealed
ruthless at
themselves.
times. Now, let's use
I mean,
Jeff
never less than you,
Bezos
Spartan.
as an alternate example, because I believe Jeff Bezos has the ends justify the means as an
Return to
ideology.
flag.
I agree.
Heads up. Ordnance drop
Because
inbound.
he's toured Amazon facilities
They've taken our flag.
and he knows
The
how
enemy
bad the
carrier has
workplace is,
revealed
but he doesn't care.
themselves.
No,
Alright, the
he
dude's
also
one of the richest motherfuckers on the planet.
right. He also, I mean,
Low on ammo.
you know,
Wheels en route.
he's created Amazon, which is great. But
Ordnance incoming.
besides that, what is his
Ally
great
returned our flag.
mission for humanity?
Well, he has no mission for humanity. He doesn't care.
No. It's all about his personal gain.
Yes.
So when he's ruthless, he's not being ruthless to pursue his goal of getting on Mars. He's being ruthless because
An ally has taken the
he wants to
enemy.
satisfy his own ego.
Yes. Because he thinks he's the shit.
Absolutely.
That's why he wanted to make a fucking he wanted to go to space. So he did.
Absolutely.
Now,
Red
while
sensor
I will
acquired.
say that while yes, selfish fucking intent and completely could have been used for a lot of beneficial things,
There's no way that thing is safe.
that action alone will have such a big impact on the future of space travel that it's insane.
That we just shot a random person up to the moon. Not to space.
Yes, because eventually, you know, space travel is going to be a thing.
Absolutely.
But at first, it's going to be a luxury only that the super rich can
Incredible
enjoy, and then the rich can
performance,
enjoy, and then the middle class can
An
enjoy,
ally
and
captured
then
the
the low class
flag.
can enjoy. Much like everything else.
Coordinates
I agree.
incoming.
And it takes that initial push from one rich ass motherfucker. Horses at first were a luxury, then became common. Then cars came out, a luxury, then became common, and reversed the horses being much more a luxury. Is what you had to take care of them,
Right.
because then they weren't used as often. So I think that
An ally
while
has taken the
you
enemy
can
flag.
be that negative thing that Jeff Bezos is, you can also benefit the world in some form of fashion. Without even realizing it.
Interesting.
But I think a person becomes a person when they have multiple principles. If you lack multiple, you inherently become evil.
Right. Because you have nothing guiding your actions.
Like some people, the only thing that matters to them is religion. That is dangerous.
Now that you think about it, when I read
That sidearm. Ah, good.
the Bible or other
Escape
religious texts, there's principles in there.
Yes.
Like, let's use the Ten Commandments, for example. Those are principles.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, the Ten Commandments are principles. And so God, I don't want to go down that route. That's another conversation for
That
another
is
day.
another conversation.
Yeah, that's a totally different
An
topic.
ally
We'll
has
have that in a
taken the
minute.
enemy flag.
Next week. So, do you think, at the end of the day, are you still in the belief that the end justifies the means is we agree that it's a principle and not an
The
ideology,
enemy has
but it
your
can
flag.
be. But do you?
It could be, and
The enemy carrier.
the ends justify the
Enemy returns
means.
their flag.
It's a principle. Fundamentally, it's a principle. But people that adopt it as an ideology
Enemy frag carrier spotted.
are most likely
Incredible
psychopaths.
performance, Spartan.
They've taken our flag.
And that the ends justify the means on an individualistic standpoint can be a
Ally
good thing.
returned our flag.
Yes.
But as far as for a group, it is a terrible thing.
The enemy
So
has your
it
flag.
depends on the position and the belief behind it.
Absolutely.
Well, we agree. That was good.
Wow.
An ally returned our flag.
All right, this will be my last game.
Yeah, that's fine, bro. Good fucking talk.
Bro, we fucking just broke down the fucking...
We went from having a definition given to us by humanity for hundreds of years to coming up with our own belief
Ordnance
about it
incoming.
and reforming it.
Wings en route.
Now that is how you have a conversation. See, and that's the problem with people today. People can't have conversations.
Well, that's because it's scary, bro. Like it's uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Like, we're talking about very...
Deep psychological
An ally
meaning,
has taken the enemy
Right.
flag.
and that fucks with some
Wait.
people.
Right. And they can't... They're like, what? No, absolutely not. You should care about everyone. Kiss the baby. You know what I'm saying? But
Enemy returns their flag.
that's not how life works.
I find that people who preach about you should care about everyone are often the
An
most
ally has taken
narcissistic.
the enemy flag.
Absolutely. Because I feel like they say that just so that they look good in public opinion.
And that
If
way
they
it
were by
justifies
themselves,
their
of
actions.
course they wouldn't say
Enemy
something
flag
like
carrier
that.
revealed.
100%, bro. 110%.
They have
See,
our
most
flag.
people
Not good.
are very two-faced. And that's
It's
what
very
we
common in our society.
Enemy returns their flag.
and that's what you see, and that's back to our thing about social media, where people portray they have all these values and beliefs and characteristics, but that's not what that actually is. That's facade. in reality, what they are is, you know, a regular
person with flaws.
Absolutely, you know. But I digress.
Yeah. It's just interesting. It's just interesting. Holy fuck, I'm so good at this game.
Incredible performance, Spartan.
But, like, I just find it so... You know, my posts, majority, more recently have been more fails, or negative things about me. And they do 10 times better.
I've noticed that too. When you post a negative, it gets more positive engagement.
But not as many comments, but it gets more shares.
Ground vehicle requisition.
Or if I make a cassette, like, for example, I've never had a reel that has gotten traction the day after it's posted, or the day of it's been posted. It's always at least a week into the algorithm that it starts to actually pick up. The last reel I posted, which was a day ago, already has, I think, 50 likes, close to 1,000. And the one before that has 1,000. And it's based off sad lifts, like emotional, mental health.
Right.
So I think that
I think
breaking
people,
through that barrier.
I think people want to see that there's other people just as fucked up as they are. And that, and them seeing that someone's just as fucked up as they are, they're validated in the sense that they're normal, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Oh, well, he's like me, so I'm not alone.
absolutely.
One of my favorite songs. Did you ever check out NF, motherfucker?
Actually, I did not. I got to. I mean, like, I'm saying that like I legit have to. Because now this is the second time you told me to do it, and I haven't.
There's a one song that I listen to whenever I need to and it's called Just Like You, and it's so fucking good. It's not a song that makes me cry the second I hear it, because he has a few of the songs that I can't listen to while I'm on my laptop. But it's such a fucking great rap song. It's so fucking deep. It's actually what I listened to when I played that 375 that like fucked my back up.
Right.
Shouldn't have done that, but you know, mental health day.
Well, we all have days like that.
It helped. Put me on a commission for a little bit, but God,
Ally has taken the enemy flag.
So, you know, like, that's the song. Definitely listen to it.
Ground vehicle en route.
I think your social media is drastically improving.
Enemy returns their flag.
Yeah, I think it has the right balance. Because a lot of people, they see powerlifting and they're like, oh my god, this guy's so strong, but they don't understand how hard it is to get to that point. And I think showing them a little bit of realism.
Oh my god, your last post of you failing, I was like, holy fuck, you actually posted it. I was so proud of you. I was so proud of you. Because it shows that transition and journey, man.
Absolutely.
And people will flock to that shit.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. But I gotta go, bro. I gotta